You're listening to Parasearch UK Radio. News, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch UK Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to The Spirit Dimension with your host, Kerry Greenaway, right here on Parasearch Radio.
Good evening and welcome to the Spirit Dimension. My name is Kerry Greenaway, and on a Sunday evening I like to bring you something a little different. Tonight I'm joined in the studio by Clare Hinks. Good evening, Clare. How are you?
Good evening, Kerry. I'm very well, thank you. It's nice to speak to you after all this time.
I know, it's been a while, hasn't it?
It has been a while. Been having a little sabbatical.
That's very true. You have had a sabbatical, but I've dragged you back in the studio. And tonight we're going to talk about the law of attraction. Now, the law of attraction states that it's one of these philosophical, new agey kind of things. Well, I say it's new agey. It's been around for a long, long time, a lot more further back than people think. But it's a lot more new agey now. It's a lot more popular, shall we say, now. And it is the belief that by focusing on positive or negative thoughts, people can bring positive or negative experiences into their life. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, because people think that thoughts are pure energy, and that is the process through the energy exchange as to why you can manifest certain things in your life through this law of attraction, isn't it?
Yeah. It's that everything is energy, isn't it? You know, we are energy, the universe is energy, everything around us is energy. So why can't we draw on that energy? You know, our thoughts are our life, aren't they? What we think, we say, we attract, we put the thought out there, the universe responds, and that's what happens. That's what I believe happens anyway. But I don't know lots about it. I know that I believe in it quite strongly, and I know a lot of other people that do, and working towards trying to change their lives in a really positive manner. So it's interesting. It's an interesting subject.
It's an interesting concept, but I do find flaws with it. I will say that. I do find a flaw with it. But let's talk about the initial, because there are so many. Right. With the law of attraction, the pure law of attraction, I don't disagree that your thoughts can help you to bring good things, or the things you want, into your life. I don't disagree with that, because I do think it's about a mindset, which is basically the law of attraction. But bad things happen to everybody. And when you have something bad that happens to you, whether that's from your own fault or an external source, it's more about your mindset and how you deal with that. So is that an energy thought? So when you're in that...
So you attract something bad to you mean?
Well, when you're in that negative state of mind because of something that's happened to you, your mind will automatically set itself into a negative mindset. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And to change that is quite difficult at times.
Yeah, it can be, because something bad happens and it brings you down, and then you get into a low state and it brings you further down, and then you're in a vicious cycle, aren't you? You can't get out. You lose your job, and your car goes wrong, and the universe hates me. Why is this happening to me?
And
and then it snowballs, doesn't it? It's one thing after another.
So you happen into that negative mindset. So by the law of attraction, if we're going back to that, by that theory or philosophy, because you start thinking in a negative way, everything becomes negative. So you start attracting more negative things into your life. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. And I'll tell you why, right? Bad stuff happens to everybody, right? Mm-hmm. That's a given. That's a life.
That's
thing.
Life. That's the journey you're on, isn't it? Bad stuff happens. Challenges is what we call them.
Yes. Life challenges happen. And sometimes they can be, oh my God, so bad. Yeah. I mean, when you read stories about what people have gone through, you think, Jesus, how can you possibly turn that into a positive, when you've gone through all that stuff? But I believe that the law of attraction has been distilled so much through the new age. You change your vibration, you become positive, positive things will happen to you. I think that's not... nearly swore then.
Careful.
I think it's a process. I don't think somebody can stay in that positive mindset 100% of the time, because life happens. Bad stuff happens to you.
Yeah.
So how can you stay in that positive vibration 100% of the time? You can't, can you? It's physically and mentally, spiritually and physically
It's hard
impossible.
work. It's hard work to be positively thinking 100% of the time. You've got to be super attractor, haven't you?
Superhuman. I would say superhuman.
To stay in that all of the time. I mean, I've been practicing positive mindset and intention setting and manifestation and all of that stuff. And I from personal experience, so I've done a bit of attracting to myself, but also once I find I'm in that positive mindset, I kind of get into a groove where I feel like everything is good around me. Everything, my job is good, my family is good. I don't feel I notice the bad stuff or the negative things so much, because I'm training my brain to think about the positive things. Does that make sense?
I don't disagree. On a day-to-day basis, when things are plodding along quite on a normal basis, I don't disagree with that. You know me, I'm an incredibly positive person, yeah? And even when the worst things happen, I can generally take it and turn it into a positive. Even if I go, that's a life lesson, okay, I won't do that again, so I'll turn that into a positive because I learnt from that experience. But there are still things in life where you go blow after blow. I mean, because you know what life's like. You don't get, it comes in threes, everybody. It's never one thing, is it? It always seems to like you've had something bad happen and then something else happens. And is that, by the law of attraction, you attracting it? I don't believe that. I think life sometimes just throws you curveballs, sometimes to put you on a different pathway. I think there are fundamental issues with the new age law of attraction.
Kerry, I think it's how you view it, because for instance, now I feel like I'm in quite a good groove at the moment, because I've been, working on this stuff, self-care and all that. And
I'm a great advocate for that.
Yeah. And came along, for example, God, I don't say anything now. I don't know what time, in case I curse myself.
Don't want to tempt the fate or anything,
No. But, stuff happens in life, doesn't it? Like people pass away, friends, you fall out with friends, things happen in your life. And I agree with you when you say, I don't believe that you attract that to you. I think that that's part of your course. That's part of your journey. And that is part of your physical experience, right? So those things they're not meant to be, I don't think that those things are meant to be like a knife in your back kind of thing. I think if, depending on our mindset, we can change our thought process to think more of them as a challenge. Right. Okay, I can deal with that. What happened? What did I learn from that? What shall I not do again? You know, change how you view it rather than go, oh my God, my washing machine's broken down. I can't afford to buy another one. Shit, my washing machine's broken down. Okay, what can I do instead? Oh, I'll go and see mum. She can wash my clothes for me. You know, change. It's how you view it. It's your perception of things on whether it pulls you down to the bottom of the deep, dark, gloom, or whether you kind of go, oh, okay, it was just a little challenge. I can, it's fine. It's not worse things happen at sea. Do you know what I mean? It's how you view things. Definitely.
I agree too. But as Joe has said in the chat room, you have to appreciate the negative you have to have negative to appreciate the positive.
Definitely.
And a large part of the law of attraction is gratitude.
Yes. Being thankful for everything you have.
Yeah. And I've said this before, no matter how bad your day has been, and take it as a day or a moment, no matter how bad that is. I've said this before in regards to my other work. No matter how bad it is, there is something that will always be positive in that. You will find, you can, if you look hard enough, find something positive in that.
And do you know what?
Or
when
make something positive in that.
If you sit down at the end of your day, and these are little things that you can do to help yourself get into a positive mindset. So, for example, you could sit down at the end of the day and just write yourself a little list of things that you're grateful for, or even just sit and go, do you know what? Thank you, universe. I'm so grateful for the things that have happened to me today. I'm grateful for lunch with my gran. I'm grateful for the cuddle that my daughter gave me. I'm grateful for the fact that the sun was shining today. Do you know what I mean? There are so many things that you can... I might sound a bit pathetic, but...
No, it isn't, because I tell you what, there was one day, and I remember this day so clearly because it was the worst day ever, and I went and had a hot chocolate from Costa. And at the end of the day, I sat there and I was thinking, okay, I've got to find a positive. And somewhere amongst this quadmere of crap that I've been handed today, I've got to find a positive because I've got the gratitude. And I was like quite resentful that I had to find gratitude in this really, really crappy day. And you know what all I could come up with?
A hot chocolate.
I thanked Costa for the hot chocolate.
Good for you.
But in the whole day, I remember walking home. I was walking home and it was raining. I think it was even snowing on this particular day. And I had a really bad day at work. Everything had gone wrong. My personal life was just... I couldn't have got any worse. Right. And I was walking home and I'd gone into Costa's, got this hot chocolate. And I was walking home in this cold weather. It was, I say, obviously not recently. This was like back in the winter. And I remember sipping on this hot chocolate and I was going, thank God for Costa. Thank God for Costa. Because it got me through the walk home. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And
finding little silver linings.
Little silver linings in a big storm cloud of crap is all I can say. But that's where your positivity comes in. And this is where the law of attraction is a good thing, right? Because, so you have a crap day. And they say focus on the positives, because if you focus on the positives, you attract more positive because you start focusing. And it's about mindset. Yeah. Isn't mindset a psychological thing rather than a universal law, which is what is bandied with the law of attraction?
Good question.
I thought you'd like
good
that
question.
one.
That is a good question. But your mind is energy. You know, it's psychological, but the brain, I mean, I don't know, I'm just a medium. So I don't know all of the facts about this stuff, but all I know is that the brain is energy and the universe is energy. And I do believe that we attract, when we put out good thoughts, we receive good. And so when you start to get into a good vibration, positive things come back to you. So you put out love, you get love back. You put out positive stuff, you put out those thoughts, you get good stuff back. I do believe that.
I don't disagree. I am very, very good at manifesting and law of attraction stuff for other people. Okay, I put that out there, and that's part of what I do for my business. Yeah, I'm very, very good at it for other people. For myself, it's well known, I'm not so good. And I'll tell you why. It's a mind monkey thing. It's your own personal belief systems. It's your own personal programs, your inner programs that have been set probably from long, long ago, you know, when you was a child or something like that, you know, that stop you from being able to do that for yourself. Now, I work in a very positive way, and I am a very positive person. So even if I've had a crap day, I will always find a positive. And 99.9% of the time, if there's something bad that's happened to me, I will turn it into a positive.
Yeah.
But
so can I just ask you a question? If you're really good at setting intention and manifesting for other people, why can you not do it for yourself? So what do you do for other people that creates a good turn for them?
Because I have no set blockages or, you know, and programming in place for other people. So if I'm doing a manifestation for you, I'm not looking at your blocks and your belief systems and your programming. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at you, Claire, as a pure person. And that's the difference. And that internally is so hard to do.
Yes,
and
exactly. It's about changing our paradigms. So somebody else can change it for us. Perhaps it's easier for somebody else to change it for us than it is for us to change it ourselves.
And that is the paradox of the law of attraction, to do it for yourself. And that is the paradox.
But this is why, if you work on it on a daily basis, it's what you tell yourself. You know, it's like getting up at 6 o'clock. Oh my God, I can't get up at 6 in the morning. I can't do it. I'm too tired. But if you start getting up at 6 o'clock and you change your cycle and you change it and you get all right, I get up at 6, but I go to bed at 9 instead of going to bed at 12 and getting up at 8. You know, then but then actually you're doing it, and actually you were just telling yourself you couldn't do it, but then you've changed it and you're doing it. So it's what you tell your brain.
But exactly, that's another thing of it, is what you go, I can't. Yeah, straight away you put a block there.
I can't. Yeah, exactly.
I can't.
Yeah.
But I also think, right now, I was talking about this earlier, funny enough, because obviously, you know, theme of the day has been the show tonight. What do you think of the law of attraction? And I was saying, like, right, you have to kind of be realistic too. In my privacy of my own home, I'm a goddamn pop star, right? I am there on the stage. I've got my hairbrush. I can sing. I'm there. I'm like Beyonce, you know.
I'm sure you are. You need to do a little Facebook Live and share.
Mate, seriously. Manifest that, not a chance, right? Law of attraction ain't going to work in that case, is it? You know what I mean? No matter how much I believe and visualise and truly believe I can be Beyonce.
Yeah. Well, there is such a thing as reality.
Exactly. You also have to be real. You also have to have that, you know, and I ain't a bad singer. I'm just saying, you know, me and Adele, so good. Yeah. But, you know, the reality of that is there is nothing I can do to manifest that, no matter how much the law of attraction and how much I visualise myself on stage, no matter how much I think I'm a really good singer, no matter how much I think I'm as gorgeous as Beyonce, which clearly I'm not, but, you know, we'll go with it. You know what I mean? That is not going to happen. So you go, right, okay. So you have to be realistic with what you want. The other thing of the law of attraction is you have to know what you want. And how many times have I said to you, what is it you want? And you go, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what I want.
So how can you manifest something or attract what you want if you don't know what you want?
Well, because by being grateful and thankful regularly and breaking these things down, you then start to think about actually what you do want. Like, what goals do you want to set for yourself? You know, because if you do these things on a regular basis, like every day you sit down and you do your gratitude and your thankfuls and everything, you begin to realise the things that you actually would like to attract into your life. Well, actually, I'm really grateful for, you know, my 7-day-a-week job, and I'm really grateful for the shed loads of money I'm earning from it. But I actually really like time to go on holiday. So I'm going to set an intention out to the universe. thank you, universe, for the amazing 2-week holiday in Bali that I'm going to get. And you just keep on saying it. You keep putting it out there, putting it out there, putting it out there. My attitude is you've got nothing to lose, have you?
No, I don't disagree. I sound like I'm playing very devil's advocate tonight, everybody. I would just like to say that because I do work with the law of attraction and I do work with manifestations and I do achieve what I want to achieve. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing some of the things that I do. So I would just like to put out, I do work to this, but I am playing very devil's advocate tonight because we're playing both sides of the fence on this. But it is true. If you set yourself a goal, you can achieve it. No matter how unachievable that seems at the time, if it's a dream, I am not realistically going to be Beyonce on stage on the O2 selling out 1 million tickets to people. Realistically. Basically, because I haven't got the voice. Right? And
is that all?
Well, not really. The fact that I can't dance for Adam. Can't dance, and I haven't got actually the stage presence that you need to become that kind of superstar.
Like to say, if your dream is being a rock star, that doesn't mean you can't be a rock star in another way.
Yeah, I'm a rock star in my bloody conservatory.
Yeah,
you know, with my mates when we're partying. I'm a goddamn rock star. I am,
but
Beyonce.
You're also a rock star at what you do, Kerry. You're a rock star in a
different way. Exactly, in a completely different way. Just because it hasn't manifested as in the Beyonce dream, do you know what I mean? It has come in a completely different way to how I envisaged it. So you kind of have to be a little realistic with your dream. But I've still achieved some level of rock stardom, even if it's with my mates on a Saturday night with a bottle of 5, 6
well,
you're wine.
You're still achieving it. I'm so proud of you.
Exactly. And I go, I rocked it tonight. I'm so proud of myself. I go to bed and go, that was such a good night. So that is a realistic law of attraction, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very strange way of looking at it. But if I stood there and I was racked full of self-doubt and I wouldn't sing and I wouldn't get up and dancing with my mates and it turned into a nightmare, I could turn that into a nightmare for myself.
Yeah.
I'm not having a good night because I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't do this, I'm making myself look a fool. Oh my God, I'm so off key. Oh my God, I look an idiot.
You pick out all the faults. Yeah,
exactly.
all the things that you fear about yourself, all the things that make you go, oh my God, I'm no good at this. Mm-hmm. When I started this, going off the rails a little bit, but I was saying this to somebody the other day, when I started doing my mediumship, I used to call it facing the fear, because I used to be terrified of getting up in front of, groups of people. When I did at Paracon last year, do you remember?
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing, my biggest fear. I was absolutely terrified because all of the things that I worried about myself, nobody else saw. They were all like, but you're brilliant. You're a brilliant medium. You're doing this, you're doing that. Don't know what you're worrying about. And I was like, really?
But that's the mind monkeys, isn't it?
Exactly. But it's how you think about yourself. It's how you view yourself. It's like what we were talking about with when we spoke to Lisa and Heather. When we were talking to them
and Heather Prince.
Heather Prince, when we were talking to them about how much to charge, for your services, and how much you value yourself. That's part of the whole thing, isn't it? It's the same thing. If you don't see those positives in yourself, how can you move past the negativity? You have to have a certain amount of, oh look, I can do this.
Yeah.
In yours, don't you? To have that positivity in the first place.
Oh, completely. But as I say, it becomes on a 4-level thing. So it's a mental battle.
Yep.
It's a physical battle sometimes if you're trying to achieve a physical goal like a marathon or something like that.
Yep.
It's a spiritual belief and faith.
Yeah.
And it is what's the other one? Mental, physical... spiritual, emotional, emotional strength to carry yourself through that. Because you will face your fears. You will, all those things that you have to face. It's a 4 we talk about this all the time. It's never a one thing. It's a four-pronged battle all the time. And that is where a lot of people fall down on the law of attraction, is because they may emotionally connect with it, but they may not do it mentally, because emotionally they're well invested and they're there, but mentally they've got the mind monkeys, as Lisa Michaels calls it, of self-doubt, self-worth, self-value, anxieties, fears, all those things. So you have to attack it from 4 levels, even down to a physical level. For example, we talk about running a marathon. Running a marathon is not just a physical battle. How many times have we heard a marathon runner say it is a mental battle as much as it is anything else? You hit a wall. It's, you're running the marathon, no matter how much you try. You power on through that wall. That's emotional. Yeah, that is an emotional battle that you face at that moment in time. It hits you. Spiritual, you have to have faith in yourself. You have to faith in that situation. And sometimes, see, the other thing is, the other paradox of the law of attraction is live in the present, be gratitudinal in the present for what comes at you. However, the law of attraction also states you should focus on your outcome.
Yeah.
Which is future.
Yes.
But if you don't...
Yes, because the outcome is the important part, isn't it?
Exactly. But if you don't focus on the present...
setting.
Exactly. But if you don't focus on that present moment where you go, that's my goal, that's what I'd like to achieve, future, what steps can I do in the present that's going to get me to that in the future?
This is really good, actually, because it's leading us on to the next part of this show, isn't it?
Exactly.
Because I've been taking part in something called the Miracle Morning, which actually covers all of those things that you've said. So there's a guy called Hal Elrod, who we can probably put the link on here for him. He's written a book, and it's called the Miracle Morning, and it's about covering all these different areas that you've just said in the Miracle Morning. So you get up at 6.
6 in the morning. Time. I mean, Jesus, everybody, really?
No, you don't. You don't get up at 6. That's just the time. That's just the time that we're choosing to do it. You get up. You get up. Joanne's written. You could get up. If you can't get up for 6, instead of beating yourself up, tell yourself you needed that extra sleep, which is exactly right.
So are you.
Exactly.
But then, having said that, I don't go to bed till sometimes 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
No,
so
exactly. Yeah. Well, you. Anyway, the Miracle Morning, right? It covers. There's a saying called savers. So it's you get up and you do a little bit of silence, then you do your affirmations, then you do a visualization. So in your visualization, you're visualizing your future outcome, whatever your intention setting is, just a happy day, whatever whatever it is. Exercise is the next thing. Reading.
That's
so
where I stop.
You're doing a bit of learning. Okay?
Sorry.
What did you say?
I mean, that's where I stop.
What, reading?
No, the exercise bit.
Oh, the exercise. It's meant to be gentle, depending on who you are.
Just getting out of bed is the exercise.
Our next guest is quite energetic at 6 in the morning, I've heard. And then...
Sorry.
Behave.
Sorry.
I forgot where I was. Reading, and then... What's the last one? The last one is... I can't remember what the last one is. So in a minute, when we get our guest on, we're going to have to ask what the last one is, because I can't remember.
Wasn't it meditation? So it's meditation. No. It was
savers.
Affirmation.
There's S. So S is silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading. Oh no.
It's okay. We're going to get somebody on in a minute who knows this so much better than Claire, because it's 6 o'clock in the morning. She clearly can't cope with it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's such a letdown. If you Google it, it will tell you.
I've shared the link to the book into the chat room already. So, guys, if you're interested in the Miracle Morning, you don't have to start at 6 like Claire does. She's clearly bonkers.
No, you don't have to.
You know,
I
suppose you could do this at any point. Could you?
You can do it any time of the day. In actual fact, I know some people that are doing it in the evening and making it a miracle evening. So, You can do it whatever time of day suits you. And really, it's not about when you do it. It's about covering all the angles of it.
Yeah.
Because it's stuff that you're doing for you.
But it's like the law of attraction, it's through visualizing, right? There's a job I've gone for. I'm in that job, right? I'm so doing that job already.
Yeah.
They don't know it yet, but I am in that job. I'm turning up for work every morning doing that job. If I don't get this job, I am going to probably commit murder somewhere. But isn't that talking about the paradox of the law of attraction? If I don't get that job, even though I've visualized it, I've sent it out, I've done the intention work, I've done everything I can do, right? If I don't get this job, right, is it for a reason?
Letdown?
Oh God, yeah. God, there's a massive reason behind it. Because
why is it a letdown?
It's perfect.
Yes, I know, but you've already said you're already doing it. I know it would be great to do it and get paid, but is it just to bring that to your attention so that you realise just exactly what you are doing? Mate,
seriously, I've even thought about turning up for work without them even giving me the job. If I just turn up and start doing the job, maybe they'll forget that there's a whole process that we have to go through before I get the job, like interviews and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But in my head, I'm doing that job. I've visualised it. I'm owning it. It's mine. If they don't give it to me, seriously, there is something seriously wrong in the universe. Because this job is perfect.
Well, you need to get working on it, and our next guest is going to tell you how.
That's true. On that note...
And by the way, it's scribing. The S is scribing.
Scribing, right.
Yes.
We're going to go to a quick kick break is what we're going to do. And when we come back, we're going to have a special guest who actually works and has used the law of attraction to manifest some amazing changes in her own life. Isn't that right, Claire?
That is right, yeah. She's a perfect advocate for the miracle morning and for the power of your thought process. So it's going to be really interesting to talk to her for a bit.
So we're going to go to a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
Hey there, friends and fiends. I am TV host and journalist Aaron Sagers from Paranormal Pop Culture, and you are listening to Parasearch Radio with your host, Kerry. Join us at Coombe Abbey Hotel from the 8th to 11th November 2018 at the Sage Paracon for a VIP weekend of all things paranormal. Tickets are on sale now at www.sageparacon.co.uk. Tickets are limited, so do not miss out. Get yours today, and I mean right now, right this second. I will wait for you to get them, and then I will see you there.
You're listening to The Spirit Dimension on Parasearch Radio UK with your host, Kerry.
Welcome back to The Spirit Dimension. I'm Kerry Greenaway. We have Claire Hinks in the studio, and we're also joined by Helen. Good evening, Helen. How are you?
Good evening, Kerry. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. And I've been listening along to the show. Thanks for inviting me on. I'm really, really excited, actually, to share some stuff about law of attraction with you.
Okay, so go ahead. Let's hear your perspective on the law of attraction.
Okay, so basically, law of attraction is one of the many laws of the universe. And it's all about energy. It's not just about mindset. So when you were talking earlier, I was making some notes actually on the things that you were bringing up when you were being devil's advocate.
Good girl.
So basically, if you're thinking about the law of attraction, you could compare it to a kind of magnetizing energy. So, whatever you're putting out there, you're going to align with and attract to you. So, it's all about being energy. We're all resonating at a frequency. Mm-hmm. So it's not just about your mindset, because like you said, how do I get past that monkey mind? How do I get past the negative habits that are holding me back when I'm trying to think about all of the good things and manifesting all of these good things, So my perspective on it is, It's more about feeling than thinking, because our thoughts create our feelings. So whatever's going on in your head is a form of energy. So really, if you want to manifest something really good, you've got to really start feeling it. So how do you raise your energy so that you can align with that? You know, it's not just about thinking it. It's not just about visualizing it. It's about actually feeling that energy frequency to start attracting the good things that you desire. And also, you know, what are you desiring? You brought up that subject of knowing what you want.
Yeah.
And on that subject, I was really intrigued about you saying about being a rock star, you know. And the
It's just an example.
You know, but using that example just made me think, well, is that what you want, or is that your ego self saying, wouldn't it be good to be a rock star? Or is that your true purpose? Is that why you came here, to be a human being? And probably the answer is actually, no, you didn't come here to be a rock star. You came here to be something a little bit more spiritual than that. So right. Finding your... Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I know my true purpose. I know I'm not going to be a rock star.
Bless you.
But it's okay.
She's a
I'm
rock star. She's
in
not
my
listening.
conservatory without anybody watching. It's fine.
Exactly. But, you know, for people out there that are listening and maybe they're thinking about the law of attraction, you know, I think it is really important to identify what is your desire. Why are you here as a human being? What is the thing what is your true self? You know, what is it? And if you can identify what that desire is, you will find that you're passionate about something, and that passion tends to raise your energy. And if you raise your energy, you're going to start to attract different things to you. So if you're aligned with your true purpose, that's when things really start manifesting and happening for you. So does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah, completely. And this is where I think a lot of, today I was watching a lot of YouTube type channels about the law of attraction. And there was some really basic, crappy kind of law of attraction things. I was thinking, no, that's not what it is.
I think there's a lot of confusion about it personally.
Yes, which is one of the reasons why we're talking about it tonight.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in a minute, Helena? I've got some feedback. Is your laptop muted?
I'm actually on my phone because I haven't got a laptop. So
are you listening? Have you got it on the radio as well? 'Cause I've got quite a bit of double echo.
Have you got headphones in?
No. Do you want me to put some headphones in? Because I can do that.
Yeah, that'd be easier.
Okay, bear with.
For hearing me twice.
I don't know whether to do a kind of Annika Rice thing now and take my phone with me whilst I go and get my headphones, or
yeah, do it. Run around the house with Annika Rice.
Yeah, I'm showing my age now with that, aren't I?
I remember.
I remember Annika Rice.
We all wanted to be Annika Rice at one point.
I have actually got my exercise stuff on as well, so I probably look quite like her. Maybe.
Excellent.
Okay. Right, back in a second. Get me headphones.
It's okay, Joe. We're just sorting out the headphones and stuff. It's because we're on loudspeaker.
We should have a little jingle playing now, perhaps. La, la.
And there's your rock star coming out, Claire.
Yeah. Sing, Kerry, sing. Now's your chance to tell the world.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Kerry is live.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear that, I'm telling you now. It's only good when you're very, very drunk in a pub full of other people talking and...
Yeah, I think we've all been there, lovely. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think that was the only time it does sound good, really. Or in my bathroom with the shower running and nobody listening.
Okay, back to the law of attraction.
Anyway, law of attraction, yeah.
I'm back and I've got headphones on. Can you hear me?
That's a lot better.
We can hear you. That's a lot better, yes.
That's a lot better.
Great.
Sorry about that.
I can just hear you say everything once now, not 5 times.
So we're going back to the confusion that a lot of things that are out there about the law of attraction, aren't we? There's an awful lot of confusion, but like you said, it's about your passion, your soul purpose, in reality, I could not cope with a Beyonce style lifestyle. I could not, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't cope with that. I wouldn't want the attention, that level of attention and fame. I couldn't deal with it. I just couldn't. I'd have mental breakdowns every 5 minutes because I'd be like, oh my God. You know what I mean? So you're right. Being a rock star, that's not going to really serve my soul purpose. But yeah, we all kind of want to be, that kind of rock star. But you're right, it's not going to be my true purpose. And there's no point in me trying to manifest something.
Rather than that, oh, I want to be a rock star, maybe that's a misinterpretation. Maybe that's your soul trying to come out and go, I want to be awesome, recognise doing something amazing, and everybody to know who I am when I'm out there, and maybe you're misinterpreting it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I've achieved that.
Do you know what?
Yeah, I agree with that, Claire, because I think we are immersed in our society. We're immersed in our culture. We're very much sort of immersed in this idea of being a human being and having to navigate this life with all the usual kind of millstones around our necks, like having to work in a job maybe that we don't want to be in, or paying council tax, or having to afford your MOT, and all of these rubbishy things that kind of weigh us down a little bit. So that kind of makes things difficult, doesn't it? It does make it difficult to interpret why we're actually here, because it's like all of that stuff that comes from living this life is like layers around us, isn't it? So, all of the savers that Claire was talking about with the Miracle Morning, the reason why they're so effective, I think, is because they allow you to become more in touch with your true self. By performing all of that self-care, you are starting to discover who you really are, rather than what this world expects us to be. So I hope that makes sense, because I'm trying to kind of explain it all, and it is such a vast subject, isn't it? The law of attraction is becoming huge. Yeah,
it is. But unfortunately, I think with a lot of these philosophical thought patterns, they've been distilled down to such lukewarm, so distilled down so much that the true meaning of it has kind of got lost along the way.
Yeah, but that's always going to happen, isn't it? It's always going to be. It's always going to happen, and for the masses, it is going to become a kind of distilled version of it, isn't it? And that's why I think, when you start learning about this stuff, it really is your own path of discovery and working out what resonates with you. It can only be what resonates with you, what makes sense to you, what feels right deep inside of you, what actually connects with the energy that you're feeling. So, yeah, I don't see that as a negative, that it is being, diluted down in a way. I don't see that as a negative at all. I see it all as absolutely incredible that this awareness is now developing. So in whatever form that it comes, with YouTube or with the internet, having the access to all of these different people and philosophies and ideas and methods, it's all good. It's all good because it's raising awareness.
It's good if people dig deeper. It's good if people really research it and really look at it and get down into the depth of what it is, rather than taking... I mean, there are so many memes. I call them memes, they're memes. But, memes, that's what I call them, out there. If you are love, you attract love. If you're, this, you attract that. Not necessarily, because sometimes you attract what somebody is after within you. So somebody can be lacking in that and be attracted to you because that's what you're vibrating, and can actually lower your own vibration because they're needing that from you, but they're not prepared to raise their own vibration to resonate at the same level you are, which is why we get the empath narcissist situation going on. We get that person that needs to be fixed to the person that is fixed. Do you know what I mean? We get that play of emotions. So you find yourself being dragged down in vibration because somebody's come into your life that is lower in vibration, because you are operating and you are vibrating at a higher level, and that makes it a very difficult situation to keep yourself at that higher vibration all the time.
That's what we were saying earlier, isn't it? It's high. It's like once you're in that, I call it my groove. Once you're in that vibration and you're in your groove and everything feels good and you know it's flowing, it feels good. But it's easy the second you stop. Even just, we were saying this, Helen, the other day, if you stop, if you just don't do it for 1 day or 2 days, or then it becomes a week, it's easy, really easy to fall back out into a bit more of a negative pattern, if you like. So you take that positivity away, and once you take you've taken one little bit of that away, it's like a downward spiral in some cases.
I think that's why it's important, isn't it, to understand the power of momentum, you know, building that momentum and raising your energy. I mean, if anyone listens to Abraham Hicks, she often talks about stepping onto into the vortex or onto another disc. So she kind of sees those different frequencies as tangible sort of areas that you can step up or down into.
Is that her visualization of that, though?
Well, she channels, doesn't she? And it's not a she's a collection of many beings, isn't she? So she interprets what they're taking
it's Esther
her through.
Hicks, isn't it? She channels, isn't she?
Yeah. So, I mean, you could go into it so far with so many different people, couldn't you? And for some people, it would be impossible to understand that. And for others, it would make complete sense to them. I mean, Esther Hicks or Abraham Hicks as the channeling person that goes up on stage. I mean, it's way out there for some people, but I find it really, really interesting talking about those frequencies or levels. And, you know, when you talk about attracting people to you that want your energy, I don't see it that way at all, Kerry. I think, you know, if you're vibrating at a certain frequency, those people that might want your energy or to be involved in that, you kind of repel them. They don't really come to you. So you tend, if you're on your path and your energy is high and you've been keeping up that momentum, you're attracting just the people in you that can help you along your path towards your true purpose. So, or your desires, you know.
It's like what was that? What we were saying about attracting your tribe? You know, raise your vibe, attract your tribe.
Yeah,
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that, but I also think that in regards to how I view it, your energy, frequency, and vibration, and lower vibrations will seek the higher vibration, even if they're not prepared to take that step themselves, and that's where the issue happens.
I think that's a really interesting idea, though. I think that's really interesting to think that lower, you know, that higher and lower attract each other, because it probably, to a degree, you know, so people that need help are going to seek out people that can help them, aren't they?
Yeah.
And so it's the same, like, so we get attracted to, and sometimes that can be a negative thing going in either direction, but sometimes it can be a really positive thing. Yeah. So it's all about balance again, isn't it? And everything has to have balance. And so negative, positive, and
but I think your vibe is actually recognising that. Exactly. Yeah. It's that recognition of actually that's and this sounds horrible, but that's almost like a lower vibration that's coming along because I'm at that higher vibration. So I can help, but I can't fix.
Exactly. And that was the point I was going to make next, Kerry, is that, you know, as you get into this stuff and you start becoming aware of your own energy and how it actually feels, if you do come across someone that is at significantly a lower energy, you see it straight away, you know, and it's not going to come in at you. You're not going to, it's almost like a protection. I certainly find this. I mean, I used to attract some very needy people towards me before I got into this stuff about 3 years ago. And now the energy that I vibrate at, I find that I'm attracting absolutely incredible people into my life on a day-to-day basis. And it doesn't stop. The momentum is building because of the techniques that I use now and that I've developed over the last few years to keep that energy level high and to, keep that momentum going. So, like you were saying, you can't always be it, but actually you can find ways to consistently raise your energy.
Yeah, I mean, because there are ways that the law of attraction doesn't work for you. There are things that mean it can't or won't work for you. So, like, that you focus on too much of what you don't want rather than what you do want.
It's never a good idea.
Focus on what you want, not what you don't want.
Exactly. I mean, I'm going back a little while ago now, but I was talking to somebody about a particular situation, and she said, but on your list, you've got you don't want this and you don't want that. She goes, where's the positives in that? And I was like, well, I know what I don't want. She goes, yeah, but what do you want? She went, switch it, put it into a positive. And actually, I've written a different list now, and it's all positives. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, I don't want that, I don't want that. But on the all my list now, I got rid of the negative list and I made it a positive list.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know. But that is a common thing, isn't it? Because you get to a point you go, well, I know what I don't want. So what do I want? And so you have to switch your mindset thing. And we go back to a mindset, into a positive mindset of, okay, what do I want out of a particular area? Whether that be a job, whether that be a love life, whether that be a health situation, whether that be, whatever situation that is.
You just have to ask for it. You just have to decide, and you just have to ask for it. And I quite often equate it to driving a car, because if you got in your car and you said, well, I don't want to go down that road there, well, you wouldn't go down. You don't want to go down that road there, but where are you going? Do you know what I mean? You've got to make a decision. You have to steer that car and decide where it's going, because if you don't, you're either going to crash or you're going to end up somewhere that's not what you wanted. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, okay, I don't want to do that, but I have no idea where else I'm going.
Exactly.
We're just going on going.
You're just going to be going round and round in circles, aren't you? If you don't decide, you need to take control.
So I do want that. Yeah. That's what I want. And then we go back to you have to know what it is you want.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So also another thing that can stop the law of attraction is your resistance to change. So I'm not very good with change. I'll fully admit this. When I get a change that comes into my life, my first point of call is fight or flight, and usually it's fright and stay still and go into, oh my God, I'm frozen, I can't move. And then I go, okay, I can't stay in this state forever. So I go, okay, so I've got change coming. What can I do to make that a positive change?
Yeah. And this is what everyone comes up against, isn't it? These paradigms that you mentioned earlier. You were talking about the habits that you'd gathered throughout your life so far. Bob Proctor would call them paradigms. Some people would say it's our subconscious programming. Yeah. And, basically, if you think about something that has developed, like your fight or flight thing, you said, I'm not good with change. So that is your programming.
Straight away.
This is what you tell yourself, I'm not good with change. So one thing that you could do to deal with that is to reprogram yourself. And you can do that by saying a better story. Instead of saying, I'm not good with change, I am good with change. And I respond really well to all of the new experiences that are coming into my life. And straight away, if you start talking in that way, you can almost feel a shift of energy.
Yes.
And the idea about identifying these little things that are holding you back from reaching your full potential here, or finding your desire, for example, and really manifesting all the good that you want with the law of attraction, the thing that is key to it is changing that programming. The only way you can change that programming is by repetition. Repetition, saying it over and over and over and over and over, writing it out, looking at it, write it on your mirror or something, and every day do it. Because if you think about all the rubbishy, crappy habits that you've collected, you only got them through repetition of saying the same thing day after day after day.
I can't get up at 6 o'clock. I can't get up at 6 o'clock too early. Can't get up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
I got up at 6 o'clock. I can do it. You know, you're completely right. Actually, Helen, I'm interested to know what you did. Can you give us an example of how you've your own experience of how you changed your mindset and what it delivered for you?
Okay, so I was in a very difficult situation about 3 years ago. I won't talk about the relationship side of it because I don't think that's fair to my ex. But basically, I was in an unhappy marriage. There'd been some huge challenges, the biggest ones I'd ever faced in my life. There was all sorts of things going on, and I had a really stressful job. I was very, very unhappy. And I had reached rock bottom. There was no doubt about that. I got to a point where I couldn't get out of bed anymore. And I just thought, geez, if I don't sort something out, I'm just going to die. I really, really felt that strongly about it. You know, my life, I was just like, oh my God, you know, what a state to end up in. So I started reaching out for things that made sense to me about why was my life like it. And I started looking on YouTube, and I can honestly say that would be the name of my book, YouTube Saved My Life, because I found things I resonated with. And I thought I started to listen to things about your thoughts, creating your reality, and how your thoughts are actually things. And I started to take responsibility for the way that I've been thinking about my life. And that was law of attraction at work, all of that stuff. I had to take responsibility for being a part of attracting it all to me. So that was the start of the journey. And through the things that I was reading and learning, Napoleon Hill, Bob Proctor, Wayne Dyer, Abraham Hicks, Neville Goddard, I could go on. I have read and learned about all these things. And through doing that, I started to learn about the higher faculties that we possess, which would be imagination, perception, will, intuition, your memory. I started learning about all of them and strengthening those parts of myself. And I started to understand who I really was. And through visualization and meditation, I decided that I needed to change my life and that I had to take action. So, yeah, I changed everything. I moved, I relocated, I split up from my husband, I did up my house, I sold my house, and I started my own business a year ago. And everything happened within the space of 1 year, and it was because I changed my thinking and started attracting better things to me. So yeah, that's how I got to kind of use the law of attraction. But it's an ongoing process, you know, it never stops. It doesn't ever stop.
That's the key point, isn't it?
And just recently, so would you say that you've stayed in that positive mindset for all this time, or what, like we were saying before, sometimes it's easy to drop out of it a little bit, and you notice a change in vibration or a change of things in your life when that happens?
Yeah, absolutely. I lost the plot completely, actually. I was on a real high having made the change, you know, and everything started aligning and slotting into place, and, you know, it was absolutely wonderful. And then my dad got really poorly, and my sister and I nursed him at her home until the day he died. And he made his transition. And I remember thinking then, my God, if I didn't have all of this knowledge and new perception, I would have really struggled with that situation at the time. But as it was, I was there to help my father make his transition and make it as loving as possible.
I love that. Transition.
It was amazing. Yeah.
It's a transition.
That's all it is. Yeah.
It is
absolutely.
a transition, yeah.
And the ones it hurts most are actually the ones it leaves behind.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But following that, I did find that I wasn't as studious in my learning. I had an awful lot of things to deal with. I had to sort my kids out. So eventually my energy did change, and I wasn't doing the miracle morning, which was a part of my learning and momentum, you know. And since then, I've been searching for a way to recreate that energy and to get back in that, what Abraham Hicks would call the vortex, you know. And at times it's been hugely frustrating, and I've had resistance. But I've persisted, and that is the important thing here, I think, is that you persist until you find a solution. And the solution that I found was to create a group, online group, and I called it Limitless Life because I'm into helping people find their purpose. And with that, I've created a subgroup where I invited people to join me on a 30-day challenge doing the Miracle Morning. And that came through inspiration because I asked the universe to help me use the gifts that I was given at birth and to live my purpose and to do what I came here for. So that was what I put out to the universe. And within half an hour, I had the idea of the group and I had 6 members and we started the next day. So absolutely wonderful. And what this group has done is given me the accountability I need to stay on it and to build that momentum. And also, it really fires me up because I get to share what I've been learning and I share my knowledge with the people in the group and they also share theirs and we support each other and we have this amazing consistency. And I can say without a doubt that all of our energy levels have raised. So it's an incredible journey and I feel so much gratitude for it, to have this technique. And it's wonderful.
Do you find it hard?
Speaking from
Sorry. Do you find it hard to keep on that mindset all the time?
Yeah, of course, because I run my own business. I'm a single mum. I'm very busy. So the idea of doing the Miracle Morning is to give you that hour of self-care because you don't get any other time throughout the day. Or, well, I say that. I've actually started a Miracle Evening group as well now. So at either end of the day, there is a bit of time to develop your own self-care methods and your own way of raising your energy and just keeping on a really good level. So that's the solution for me. Absolutely.
Excellent. Right, Helen.
Yeah.
I've shared your group into the chat, Limitless Life. Your business is down where Clare is, isn't it? So tell me about your business.
It's a cafe and we've just celebrated our first year in trading. Yeah. And it's basically the idea that I had was that I wanted to help people with whatever I did. And I used to be a midwife before this and I saw a lot of ill health. And one of the inspirations for my cafe was that I wanted to provide healthy food and drink for people because I thought I could really heal people better in that way than being a midwife and banging my head against a brick wall in the NHS. It was kind of killing my soul. So, so we started this cafe and it's actually turned into my little hub of wonderfulness where it just attracts the most amazing people like Clare Hinks. And so Claire works for us now, and it's something that she also manifested in a way. She wanted a really flexible job, and it's just fantastic. And I'm really happy to have her on the team. She's a really valued member, and everyone that comes in there actually is wonderful.
The place it's a place like I've never been in before. So the people that come in there they all seem to be like-minded, aren't they? They just come in, they're spiritual, they want to know about any groups that are going on. They've got a notice board and we've got lots of things advertised on there, like local meditation groups. Obviously, I've got dragonflies advertised in there. And the people that come in they all have something amazing to give, and they all seem to just want to share it. It doesn't matter who they are, like whether they're on holiday and they've come from some amazing place or whether they've got some business that they want to share. It all seems to be really connected, and for me it's like everybody goes in there and shines their light, and it's really lovely.
Okay, girls, where is it?
Oh yeah,
we're talking about this wonderful place. It's an amazing place, but where is it? What's it called? Where can we go?
Oh, bless you, that's so sweet. Yeah, get to promote my business. Well, thanks.
Go on then, Helen, where is it?
It's on Madford Lane in Launceston, which is just into Cornwall, so just over the border from Devon. You'll come across a town called Launceston, and it's quite a small little town really, and our cafe is only a small little place, but it is just a magical place, really. I don't even know how to describe it. I just love it so much. And come and see us, come and visit us, come and say hello, because we just love all of the people that come and visit us. And I think people are just so open. We're human, we're very human and we're very spiritual, and it's all just a lovely place to be yourself, really. That's it in a nutshell.
Okay, guys, it's called the Greenhouse Cafe. It is at 7 Madford Lane in Launceston, Cornwall. Guys, check it out. I've shared the page into the chat room too. Trust me, if you're down that way, check it out, because it is... Oh, I'm going there. But that's when I go physically, she's taking me. She's so taking me. And I'll probably hold a workshop or something there too.
Yes, you should totally come down.
I will. I'm so planning to do that. But the food looks amazing, and like you're surrounded by like-minded people. It is awesome. So I've shared it all into the chat room. I'll do the same when we go live onto the YouTube channel, so everybody can find this amazing place that's down in Launceston, which is just over the border. In Cornwall.
Cornwall.
Yeah? Cornwall.
Brilliant.
Cornwall.
Thank you, Kerry. That's wonderful.
You're very, very welcome. Helen, you're an absolute inspiration. Claire, as always, you're absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on the Spirit Dimension.
Right back at you, Kerry.
Thank you.
It's been lovely to
I'm
speak
so
to
going to have
you.
you both back on. That's all I'm going to say. On that note, guys, don't forget, tomorrow evening, join me, or tomorrow afternoon, evening, about 5 p.m, I reckon. This is the time I'm going to go live on the Parasearch Radio group page to give you a roundup of the following week's shows, or this week's shows coming. We are launching a new show this week, a little heads up for you. There'll be a new competition going live on the Parasearch Radio group page, so don't forget to check that out. Penny is back from holiday. Woo-hoo-hoo! Thank God for that. So we have got all that information coming up for you live on Parasearch Radio group page tomorrow. Don't forget, if you miss any of our shows, then you can check us out on our YouTube channel. Don't forget, Parasearch Radio. Click, like, share and subscribe. And on that note, my ladies, thank you so, so much for joining me.
Thank you, Kerry.
Thank you ever so much.
You are very, very welcome. Next week on the Spirit Dimension, I'm talking to the amazing Jane Harris. I love that lady. She is absolutely awesome. She is a guest speaker at the Sage Paracon this year. But all in all, she is just a beautiful, beautiful soul. So join us next week, 9 p.m. Sunday. But don't forget, we have shows going out pretty much every night of the week. On that night, I bid you a very farewell and a very good night.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.